since the onset of COVID-19, you actually have a decrease in foodborne illnesses because persons are now washing their hands, washing their fruits and vegetables before consumption, fully cooking their foods, right? So you have a little good that came out of it. You actually have this habit that persons are now practicing. And I like to say practice makes permanent. So we're hoping that, when everything, simmers down, that people are still going to practice the hand washing and cooking their food thoroughly and being mindful of what they put in their bodies.
That we, the ordinary citizen, cannot blindly and faithfully rely on the food supply chain to fully assure safe food to us. So we think that consumers really need to become more informed, more aware, and more proactive. And since ultimately they make the choice and they have the power of their purchase to ensure that what they consume meets their food safety goals.
There's a few things that we can do. One of the things that particularly helps in the discussion of food fraud, we look at the whole product. So rather than buying minced meat, which is a little bit more difficult to say from which animal it comes, we buy a whole piece of meat, which is a little easier. I mean, very bluntly put, everybody can identify a cow on the pasture. It's much more difficult if it's a sausage. To make that connection. So as much as we can buy whole foods or whole black pepper kernels instead of the pre-ground black pepper or things like this, the less ability has been to manipulate a product.
Focus must be on salt, sugar, and fat, how we treat with that. I think that the time has come for legislation to be passed to set standards in relation to salt, sugar, and fat in food.
Sustainable, accountable, factual, eco-friendly, safe. And this morning, I want to welcome Alexander Govan, who's going to be the moderator for the next panel discussion happening later on today at 2 p.m. Good morning, Alex.
Marcus, thank you so much for letting me be here.
No problem. So we're talking sustainable agriculture, the key to food security. Why is sustainable agriculture the key to food security?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, when we're thinking about sustainability, it's literally the ability to keep on doing, right? And food security is defined as, everyone has physical, social, and economic access to safe and nutritious food, but also food that meets our food preferences and dietary needs. So ecological sustainability, or preserving our soil, preserving our forest, preserving our water, enables us to be able to continue producing food in a safe and healthy way, but that reflects our needs. So it's really quite critical to ensuring that Trinidad and Tobago has, well, essentially Trinidadian and Tobagonian food.
Okay, so we want to make sure that we can grow the food that we want to eat, is what you're saying. But what about the things that can't grow here? Should we be finding replacements for some of the things that we may like to consume that can't grow here? Or is it that once we maintain properly, anything can grow here?
Well, I mean, I think actually we need to focus on the latter. We need to focus on preserving our soils, as I said, preserving our water, preserving our pollinators so that we can keep on producing things like okra, things like scorpion pepper, because really and truly there's no real replacement to that. You know what I mean? If you went to the corner and somebody said, I'm going to put Tabasco on your doubles, they would say, well, I don't really want my doubles, So we have to maintain, sustain this ability to produce our food here in a healthy way that's also beneficial and nutritious to our people.
All right, and let's speak about the safety now. How does that relate to the safety of food, the sustainable part and the safe part?
Well, the truth of the matter is, the food is coming from the environment, and the health of the food is actually our health. There's a connection between the health of the soil, the microbial health of the soil, and how that produces, certain nutrients, but also certain attributes of the food that we consume. So, ecological sustainability, and one of our panelists said this to me yesterday, the food is a bridge between the environment and our bodies. What we consume is actually a reflection of the health of the environment. So, by preserving the environment's ability to keep on producing food, we're actually dealing with our personal sustainability in our bodies,
Because it's all connected, and, the environment and us.
Yeah,
and the food is the link.
The food is a link, the food is the bridge between the environment and us, for sure, yeah.
All right, so tell me how people can take part in this panel discussion happening today.
Okay, well, it's today at 2 p.m. You need to go on the Cropper Foundation's social media pages, Facebook or our website, and you can log on via Zoom. Unfortunately, there are only 100 slots and they were filled last time. So we encourage people to register from now. But it will be also replaying on the Cropper Foundation's Facebook page.
Okay. And it's replaying from the time it's finished, or is there a delay time to put it up? Or
I think there will be a slight delay, but it should be on from later today.
all right. And who should be the people that that participate in this? Is it right for any and everybody, or is it people who are farmers, or who is it for?
Well, the truth of the matter is we all participate in the food system, you know, so it is for farmers who want to learn about how they can do things in a more sustainable way. It's also for consumers to understand, you know, well, what should they be asking about in their food? You know, what should I be looking for in my food? What does sustainability even mean? And then, of course, you know, we're encouraging government actors who are interested in the food security space, interested in the sustainability space, to come and learn about how basically we can all work together, because it involves not just the farmers and the consumers, but also, of course, the government. You know, we're a triangle that's working together.
What role does the government play in sustainable agriculture?
I mean, you know, a big part of the Safe Food Challenge is about sustainability, accountability, being factual, and being eco-friendly. And I think in the middle, the accountability and the being factual, government plays a critical role there in making sure that what people are saying is actually true. But actually, the Bureau of Standards is one of our partners on this project. And, you know, they're the ones who are making sure that things are factual, things are technically correct. So that's a real critical role for the government, not only to create an enabling environment for farmers to feel like they can take the risks to do, you know, the more sustainable thing, but also making sure that, you know, people are accountable and what is being presented is very factual.
And what are some of the things that we as consumers should be checking for to know if it was sustainably grown or whatever?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest and say that's the kind of thing that you'll hear about today. You know, we're going to definitely hear from some of our experts. We have an expert on soil health. We have someone coming from NAMDEVCO. We have a farmer from Suriname who's using some spectacular drone technology in Suriname. Mm-hmm. And we also have a farmer from Trinidad. So you'll actually be hearing about some of the things that you can look for as a consumer. I don't want to give away too much.
No, well, I mean, this makes it even more interesting, because you get an idea of who's going to be there and who's going to be people presenting on what topics as well. So yeah. I think it's definitely worth checking out. One more time, we head across the Cropper Foundation's Facebook page, you said?
Yes, the Facebook page on cropperfoundation.org, our website, as well. And I mean, you know, that group of people we have also reflects, you know, all of the different stakeholders have to work together to make this kind of system work.
All right, and you have the fantastic job of moderating that discussion happening this afternoon. You mentioned the Safe Food Challenge just now. You want to remind people how they can sign up for it?
Yeah, well, a big part of Safe Food is, of course, public understanding. And the challenge is quite simple. We want people to get creative at home by filming and submitting a public awareness video that promotes safe food, safe shopping habits in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a 1-minute video, and I think we have $10,000 in prizes. It ends on July 23rd. Of course, we want people to observe all the protocols, but I mean, you know, public awareness and hearing from Trinis about how you look for safe things in food, but also some of the risks of consuming unsafe food. That's what we want to promote in this challenge.
Are there risks outside of the health risks that we would be aware of?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, sustainability, a big part of it is ecological, but I mean, I think it's also, you know, you want to think about the social and economic sustainability. You know, if Trinidad and Tobago has a massive food import bill, if we're consistently compromising or reducing our ability to produce food, we're putting ourselves in a potentially, you know, economic hole. And of course, you know, there's the social aspect of it as well. So it's not just for selfish reasons, although I encourage people for selfish reasons who want to consume good food. It's for social cohesion, but also for our economic sustainability in the long run. So there are a lot of selfish reasons to do it, actually.
Yeah, I think now is a good time for us to realize that selfish could be a good thing. You know, if we take care of ourselves and take care of each other and take care of Trinidad and Tobago, I think that we'd be on a good path. And this is one way to start, with that link between the environment and us, which is the food. So I want to thank you very much, Alex, for joining us this morning. And I want to remind you guys again to check out the panel discussion on sustainable agriculture, the key to food security. It's happening today, 2 p.m., but you want to head across to the Cropper Foundation's Facebook page or cropperfoundation.org and register to be a part of it. From now, unlike Rashwati, I say a long time ago, plant the land. That's what we need to be doing and making sure it's sustainable.
I mean, that is really, the key. I mean, we should not just be planting, all out. Everyone should plant something in their backyard. And sustainability, as I said, social, economic, environmental. We want to be here for a long time. We want to continue being here in our way. So yeah, plan the land. I agree, Ruckus. Thank you so much for having me here.
No problem. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break and come back with more.